I don't know. I can't hear nothing. Can you do it? I don't know how to work this.
Good morning, Mr. Speck.
Good morning.
Um, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, you know what, with Zoom and everything, I, you know, I've been in front of Oakley quite a few times recently.
Yeah?
Did a bench trial in front of him not too long ago, actually.
Well, it's good to see your face. Your client is here. Do you need a breakout room with her, or are you waiting for
We should have,
counsel?
the defendant was, sir, I filed the second proof of service yesterday. It's in your database, so it was posted and mailed both. So we got service, so we're good there. But she told my client she would be appearing, so I'd
Okay,
like I don't think we can just move ahead for a few minutes anyway. What does the judge give them? Usually a half hour or so, 20 minutes,
15 minutes.
15.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if she doesn't appear, we can take it default. Or this is not like the standard land contract matters or not or tenancy where you got to have two hearings now, right? That's only in the
It's
landlord.
changed. Yeah.
Okay, so for landlord or for land contract, we can do it at the first hearing, right? Just take proofs and be done with it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I'll wait. The judge should be out momentarily.
All right. Thank you. Good to talk to you.
Same here. Thank you. Mhm. Morning, Mr. Novak.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Miss Moorhead is here. Do you need a breakout room with her?
Let me ask you this. Are you guys taking judgments at the first hearing or are we just adjourning them?
Uh, Judge Martin will take them.
Take judgments?
Yes.
Oh, let me talk to Miss Moorhead then.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I made you co-host so you can move around.
All right, great.
There's
Thank
a
you.
breakout room for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Miss Harris, please join the breakout room.
Good morning, Mr. Bowditch.
The material that Mary Ellen.
Yes, so let me get you
Because
into a
Martin is-
breakout room.
Go to the meeting room, I suppose.
Yes. Yeah, let me put you in a breakout room.
But I'm ready to talk. Ma'am.
Okay.
Thank promise. Sounds like not pretty up there.
Madam Clerk,
Yes,
I was unable to find Miss Moorhead. Could you please put us into a room together?
I will do that.
Thank you.
Yep, Miss Moorhead, you'll see an invitation to join a breakout room. If you would just click on that, please.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, December 1st, 2023. I am Judge Martin. Today's docket is exclusively landlord-tenant. We are implementing the new court rules 4.201. In just one moment, my secretary will be locking this meeting and running an advice of rights video. After that video has concluded, We will talk to the people who have checked in and give them an opportunity to go into the breakout rooms to talk to the attorneys. After viewing the video, if you wish to enter into an agreement with the attorneys, you will do that in the breakout. Come out, we will put that agreement on the record. If there is no agreement reached, we will adjourn the hearing. Your adjourn date will be December the 12th. When you come out of the breakout, we will give you a new time on December the 12th. Other than that, Marianne, if you would lock the meeting and prepare to run the video.
Please listen carefully for information about your rights and resources that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you may qualify for legal aid assistance. There may be a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid available today to speak with you, or you can contact them at 888-783-8190. You have the right to have your case heard in the proper venue. If the property is not located in the 34th District, you can ask the court to transfer your case to the district where the property, or any part of it, is located. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court today or make the demand in writing within 5 days of today's hearing. You can use Form MC-22 Jury Demand and file it with the court. You must pay $50 when you make your demand, or within 5 days of the court advising you. You do not have to pay the jury fee if you have asked the court to waive fees and the court has approved your request under MCR 2.002. If your landlord has asked for you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or a federal help for homeless veterans program. You should have received information on local rental and housing assistance with the summons. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are enough. If your case is for non-payment and you have already applied for assistance from one of these agencies, be sure to let the court clerk or the judge know when your case is called. You will be required to submit written proof to the court within 5 days of today's hearing. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a Michigan or local community dispute resolution program. You can find a program at courts.my.gov/CDRP. You may also reach an agreement with the landlord that will mean the case gets dismissed. A conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. You can use Form DC-508, Consent Order for Conditional Dismissal, Landlord-Tenant, and file it with the court. Information about your other rights and the legal process is available through Michigan Legal Help at www.michiganlegalhelp.org. Additional information on legal resources, housing assistance programs, and court forms are available on our website at www.mi34thdistrictcourt.com/department/civil. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly.
Thank you for your attention. This is now 2302199 SP, Felicia Pillard versus Carol Miller. May I have your appearances?
Good morning. I'm pleased the court, Aaron Speck, on behalf of the plaintiff, Felicia Pillard, who's also appearing by Zoom technology this morning.
Thank you. Ms. Miller,
Yes,
how are you this morning?
I'm okay. How are you?
I am wonderful, thank you. Would you like the opportunity to speak to Mr. Speck regarding this matter?
Yes, I actually would like to address the court. Since this
Ms. Miller,
huh?
Ms. Miller, not quite yet.
Oh,
I'll have you go in and
okay.
speak to Mr. Speck, and after you're done with Mr. Speck, you can come back in this main session. And I'll recall the
okay,
case,
yes.
okay?
Yes.
Thank you. You should see invitation to go into a breakout room with him. Please go there and talk to him.
If my
Thank you, ma'am.
client, Miss Pillard, could be in there too, so I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
And then this is 2302536 LT, Wellesley Townhomes versus Moorhead.
Good morning, Judge Robert Novak appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Good morning. Ms. Moorhead, turn your video on, unmute yourself and state your name for me, please. Kelly Moorhead.
Your Honor, I did speak with Ms. Moorhead in the breakout room.
Yes, hello?
Oh, there you are.
Oh, hi.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Novak, you were starting to say you spoke with her and
We're going to ask for an adjournment until the 12th.
Ms. Moorhead, were you able to hear Mr. Novak just now?
Yes.
Ma'am, your case will be adjourned to December the 12th at 9:15 a.m. Court staff will mail notice to you at the address we have on record. Do you need to go back into the breakout room, Mr. Novak?
I do.
Ms. Moorhead, December the 12th at 9:15, but we're going to send you the invitation to go back into the breakout room with Mr. Novak. I have just a few more cases with him. He'll be in there momentarily.
Okay.
Judge, actually, Ms. Moorhead and I already spoke.
Yeah.
We're going to come back on the 12th and resolve it.
I asked you, did you need to go back in with her? You said yes.
No, I'm sorry, Judge.
You meant no. That's okay. Ms. Moorhead, you're free to go. I'll see you on December 12th at 9:15. We'll be back here on Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck to you,
You're
ma'am.
welcome, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Mr. Novak, the other cases, we have 2302534 LT Wellesley Townhomes versus Aquila Parker.
That's going to be a dismissal, Judge. We filed a dismissal yesterday afternoon.
Oh, it wasn't there when I reviewed the file. Thank you. I'll make that note. 2302535 LT Wellesley Townhomes versus Kyle West.
That was also a dismissal that we filed yesterday, Judge.
2302537 LT Wellesley Townhomes versus Terry West.
Nobody's here on that case.
This case will be adjourned to December the 12th at 9:45 a.m. We'll mail notice out to the defendant in this matter. Is there anything else this morning, Mr. Novak?
That is it, Judge. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This is 2302391 LT Swan Creek versus Lee.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alex Lubianski, P77121 on behalf of plaintiff.
Good morning, sir. Any update in this Lee matter?
Your Honor, I did not see Lee in the courtroom. There's still an amount of rent due and owing. I would ask if there was personal service. Otherwise, I would ask for an adjournment.
There is no proof of service in this file, and I was going to have you follow up with Mr. Cox's office or your office staff regarding it. The case was originally scheduled for December 20th, and there was posting for December 20th. There was the date changed to today, and that there's no service, no mail, or no posting, no proof of mail or proof of posting in this file or the next one, 2302406 LT, Melissa Vilcolo.
Understood. I will follow up with our administrative staff regarding proof of service.
If there was proof of service for this amended hearing date for December 1st at 9 o'clock and you get it over to the court through e-file, we will adjourn these matters over to December the 12th at 9:45 a.m. If proof of service of the amended complaint was not timely made, the matters will be dismissed.
Okay, I will.
Well, you know what? No, I'll take that back because make the call and follow up with the civil staff.
For the adjourn date. I'm just trying to follow what I need to.
No, Mr. That's why I took it back, sir. Get the proofs of service over for today's date. Court staff will mail out notice for the December 12th, 9:45. The amended summons happened well after the posting had occurred. So we'll just schedule them for December 12th at 9:45. They'll get the advice of rights and the court staff will mail notice of this new date.
Okay, so the court will mail the notice. Is our administrative staff all set then?
Well, I need to know that they serve the updated summons. They
Okay,
don't need to do anything regarding the December 12th date, but they need to do something to show that they served for today's date.
very good. I will do so.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Your
My
Honor.
apologies for the confusion.
That's okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too.
Marianne, I'm trying to be mindful to grant some leeway because of the issues with the amended dates. These were
Oh, right.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
The summons were amended, and then we had the Thanksgiving break, and e-filing sometimes takes a moment, a day or two for the proofs of service to appear in the files. So that's more a mental note than anything else. Good morning, Mr. Bowditch.
Good morning. Good morning, Your Honor. I need my video working here.
It's fine. I was looking for,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning. Have you already had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Harris?
Yes, Your Honor, I have. We're ready to proceed when the court is.
I was just handed the file, but she is still in breakout room number 11. Let us get her out here. This is 230864 FY, State of Michigan versus Harris. May I have your appearances, please?
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch appearing on behalf of and with Miss Taja Harris. Miss Harris, could you tell the judge your name for the record, please?
Taja Harris.
Thank you,
you,
ma'am.
Ms. Harris.
Your
Today is
Honor,
the day and time set for the felony arraignment in this matter. I'm sorry, Mr. Bowditch.
I was going to say the same thing, Your Honor. Today's the date and time set for the arraignment. We would waive the form of reading, stand mute, ask the court to respectfully enter a not guilty plea on these matters.
Ms. Harris, were you able to hear Mr. Bowditch just now?
Yes.
Ma'am, he's waived your right to hear the reading of the formal complaint against you and ask the court to enter a not guilty plea. You have an absolute right to be represented by an attorney in this felony matter. If you're unable to retain one through your own resources or of that friends and family, the court is able to appoint one for you. Attached to the front of your file was an application for court-appointed attorney. The court has signed that. You will be assigned an attorney going forward. It will not be Mr. Bowditch. It will be someone else who relies on the information that's contained on your file to be in contact and communication with you. You also have the right to be considered for pretrial release. Attached to the file was a recommendation from the Romulus Police Department asking that your bond be set at 100,000, 10%. At a condition of your bond be that you have no contact with the victim in this case, Yaya Sanogo, and do not return to 24762 Roosevelt Court, apartment 375 in Farmington Hills, or the victim's workplace at 10401 Harrison Road in the city of Romulus. Mr. Bowditch, your response to this recommendation?
Well, Your Honor, as the court is aware, Ms. Harris turned herself in today, which is a sign of good faith. She is a 27-year-old young lady. She presently resides on 5959 Radnor in Detroit. She has a job. She's taken a leave of absence to be with the children for a little while, but she is with Reno Landing, has been there for 7 months. Her criminal history, Your Honor, is only a Hyde matter in Macomb County, which she was supposed to have a hearing today. They adjourned that hearing so Miss Harris could voluntarily turn herself in on this matter. So she will have an upcoming hearing on that. Other than this matter, Your Honor, she has no warrants or anything. Your Honor, Miss Harris knew that she was facing some difficulties, yet she consulted with the other court who had her on probation, and she voluntarily turned herself in. I think, Your Honor, possibly she's a candidate for a personal bond. I've also explained to her, Your Honor, in detail about the judge's pending no contact order.
Thank you. Ms. Harris, the court will deviate from the recommendation made by the police department and set your bond at 10,000 personal. That is after reviewing your criminal history and taking note of the fact that you did turn yourself in, present yourself voluntarily to the court this morning. There will be a few conditions of your bond beyond the standard things. One, that you have no contact with the victim. Yaya Sanogo, Y-A-Y-A, last name is S-A-N-O-G-O. And ma'am, no contact means no contact, no direct contact, no contact with third parties, no contact through social media. Should this court receive reports that you made efforts to be in contact or communication with the victim in this case, it could be viewed as the violation of the terms of your bond. Your bond could be revoked and you could spend the rest of these proceedings in custody. Do you understand?
Yes.
Thank you. Also, you are not to return or go to the victim's home at the Roosevelt address that was previously placed on the record or the victim's place of work. And then, ma'am, there is an order for fingerprints in this matter. The court has signed that you are to present yourself to the Romulus Police Department before your next court date and be fingerprinted. Your next court date will be your probable cause conference on Wednesday, December 13th, 2023 at 9:15 a.m. in person back here at the 34th District Court, courtroom number 2 with Chief Judge Brian Oakley. Court staff will give you notice of that date before you leave this morning. Mr. Bowditch, is there anything else in this matter?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Harris, court staff will be with you momentarily to give you a copy of that notice to appear for that next court date of December 13th at 9:15. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, I'm going to leave the meeting and wait for the next arraignment.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Speck, Ms. Pollard, and Ms. Miller, the court pulled you out of the breakout room as we have another block of landlord-tenant cases at 10 o'clock. You're welcome to go back in and finish your conversation, but as we get closer to that next block of cases, I won't be able to have you come back on and put any resolution on the record. So, Mr. Speck?
Yeah, we have tentatively resolved the case. We're going to do an amendment to the land contract, but we're not going to put it on the record. And so what I'd like to do is we'll adjourn the case for 2 weeks. If we get the amended land contract signed, I can file a voluntarily dismissal order with the court.
Thank you. Ms. Miller, is that your understanding as well?
Yes.
This case will be adjourned to December the 12th, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. Court staff will mail notice to you of that new date and time. Mr. Speck, is there anything, just so the record's clear, this is 2302199 SP. Mr. Speck, was there anything else?
Just real briefly, I'm not going to get her signature on a dismissal. If we enter a new land contract, she hasn't filed an answer. I'm just going to do a voluntary dismissal without prejudice, if that's acceptable to the court.
Do you understand that, Ms. Miller?
Yes.
And if Mr. Speck does, if you do in fact execute a new land contract and Mr. Speck files a dismissal with the court, you will not need to appear on December 12th, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. That
Thank you.
concludes this matter, Ms. Miller. Have a good day.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Bye.
Oh, thank you.
It's brand new, it's never been used.
Well, how have you never used it?
What?
How have you never used it?
I got this, I got
Everything
a card
else?
in my pocket.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You didn't like the one with glue all over?
No, because sooner or later it's not gonna work. Or the battery's gonna go dead, and you're gonna have to pry it open.
I'm
with
gonna be
chisel.
stuck somewhere.
Use that rubber for a spare.
Thank you. Yeah, for Marianne and I lock ourselves out.
Yeah. And you know what, I have
Marianne, I'm coming back right now. Thanks.
Okay.
I've never used. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. I was trying to find out, what is your name, please?
My name is Patrice Cox Hilly.
Thank you.
No, I'm right here. I'm about to get ready to walk out. Not up.
I'm here now.
Good morning. It is December 1st, 2023. I'm Judge Martin. Today's docket is exclusively landlord-tenant cases. The meeting room will be locked here in just a moment, and we will play a video that explains your rights this morning in these landlord-tenant cases. After the video has been played, you will have your cases called. You will have the opportunity to meet with the attorneys that represent your landlord as well. You may see invitations to go into breakout rooms. Please respond to those invitations. Have your chat open. You may receive chats or text messages from court staff trying to get you into the proper location. Marianne, let's lock the meeting. Please have paper and pencil ready. The video will be playing momentarily.
District Court. Please listen carefully for information about your rights and resources that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you may qualify for legal aid assistance. There may be a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid available today to speak with you, or you can contact them at 888-783-8190. You have the right to have your case heard in the proper venue. If the property is not located in the 34th District, you can ask the court to transfer your case to the district where the property, or any part of it, is located. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court today or make the demand in writing within 5 days of today's hearing. You can use Form MC-22 Jury Demand and file it with the court. You must pay $50 when you make your demand, or within 5 days of the court advising you of this right. You do not have to pay the jury fee if you have asked the court to waive fees and the court has approved your request under MCR 2.002. If your landlord has asked for you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or a federal help for homeless veterans program. You should have received information on local rental and housing assistance with the summons. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are enough. If your case is for non-payment and you have already applied for assistance from one of these agencies, be sure to let the court clerk or the judge know when your case is called. You will be required to submit written proof to the court within 5 days of today's hearing. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a Michigan or local community dispute resolution program. You can find a program at courts.my.gov/CDRP. You may also reach an agreement with the landlord that will mean the case gets dismissed. A conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. You can use Form DC-508, Consent Order for Conditional Dismissal, Landlord-Tenant, and file it with the court. Information about your other rights and the legal process is available through Michigan Legal Help at www.michiganlegalhelp.org. Additional information on legal resources, housing assistance programs, and court forms are available on our website at www.mi34thdistrictcourt.com/department/civil. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly.
This is 2302227 LT Belleville Manor versus Lynn Caudill.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Daniel Landman, P35797, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Ma'am, unmute yourself and state your name for me, please.
Lynn Cotto.
Ma'am, have you made application for rental assistance?
Yes, ma'am.
With what agency, please?
DHS.
Ma'am, your case will be adjourned to December the 15th at 9 a.m. We're going to move you into a breakout room to meet with a member of the court's staff to help you get connected to the form that you need to file. You must file that form within the next 5 days to show where you have made your application. After you're done with court staff, you will go into a room to meet with Mr. Lamb, and he will be there momentarily, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me. Good morning, Detective Harkins. I'm good. How are you? I do. Do you swear or affirm the contents of the affidavit are true to the best of your knowledge, information, and belief? Send it over for me, please. Thank you. Same to you. My apologies. That was the police department. This is 2302228 LT Belleville Manor versus Lisa Dufour.
Daniel Landman, again, Your Honor, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Ms. Dufour, state your name for the record.
Lisa Dufour here.
Thank you. Ma'am, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, I got laid off a few months back when Ford went on strike, and I did call the numbers that they gave me for assistance back then, waiting for unemployment to hit, and there was no assistance then, but I am back to work now. And I have been saving, but with the law the way that it is, they can't take payments. So every, the late payments have been accruing. So I'm doing my best to.
I'm sorry, Ms. Dufour, I don't, ma'am, I don't mean to cut you off, but what'll happen right now? You'll go into a breakout room with Mr. Lamon. You'll speak to him. If you reach an agreement this morning, you can come back out and we'll place it on the record. If you don't reach an agreement when you come out, your case is going to be adjourned. Your new date will be December the 15th. When you come out of the breakout room, we'll give you the new time, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. This is 2302378 LT Holiday West versus Jalen Griffin.
How you doing?
Your Honor, for the record, Attorney Ian Morton, Appellate's Law on behalf of Holiday West.
State your name, sir.
Jalen Griffin.
Mr. Griffin, have you made an application for rental assistance?
No, we have the money already.
Then, Mr. Griffin, what I'll have you do is go into a breakout room. We meet with Mr. Morton or another attorney from Palace Law Firm. After you've done that, if you reach an agreement, you'll come out and we'll place it on the record. If you do not have an agreement, your case is going to be adjourned. That new date will be December the 15th. We'll give you the time when you come out, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. This is 2302388 LT Holiday West versus Cheyenne Cleanow.
Yes, I'm here.
Again, Your Honor.
State your name, ma'am.
Sorry.
Cheyenne Cleanow.
Ma'am, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, I had already paid my rent and I'm already have been up to date.
Ma'am?
on my other rent.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I can't hear you. Would you, whatever your device is, I need you to put it closer to your.
I said I had already paid my rent for that and I've been already up to date on my other rents.
If I may, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your Honor, was it I can confirm that we did submit a dismissal for Ms. Cleanow, was it yesterday, as the rental balance had been brought to zero, so her case is being dismissed.
Ms. Cleanow, did you hear Mr. Morton just now?
Yes.
Your case is dismissed, ma'am. You're free to go. The court will monitor the file for receipt of that dismissal.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. This is 2302392 LT Holiday West versus Travis Liddell.
Here, Your Honor.
State your name, turn your video on, please.
Travis Liddell.
Thank you, sir. Have you made application for rental assistance?
No, ma'am. We'll have the money December 5th.
Then, sir, what we'll do right now is move you into a breakout room. You'll speak to an attorney that represents Holiday West. If you reach an agreement, you will come out, you'll place it on the record. If you do not have an agreement, your case is going to be adjourned. Your new date will be December the 15th. We'll give you a time when you come out, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. This is 2302393 LT Holiday West versus Peter Lorenzi.
Yes.
State your name, please, sir.
Peter Lorenzi.
Sir, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, we haven't.
Sir, what you'll see next is an invitation to go into a breakout room. Please go there, meet with a member of the Palace Law Firm. If you reach an agreement, you'll come out, you'll place it on the record. Otherwise, your case will be adjourned. Your new date will be December the 15th. We'll give you a date when you come out of that breakout room, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. 2302409 LT Holiday West versus Aurelia P. Unmute yourself, ma'am. State your name for the record.
Aurelia P.
Ma'am, have you made application for rental assistance?
My rent is paid up.
Mr. Morton?
When did you submit those funds, ma'am?
What's today? The 1st. I gave it to them on the 17th, the 18th.
I'll have to look over that, Your Honor. Why don't we put her into a breakout room, because I still have a balance due depending on when she submitted those payments.
Ms. P, you'll see an invitation to go into the breakout room. Please go there, meet with a member of the law firm. If they're able to verify that that payment's been made, we'll address it when you come back out. If they have not been able to verify that information, your case will be adjourned to December the 15th. I will give you a time when you come out of that breakout room, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. This is 2302374 LT Holiday West versus Patrice Cox Healy. Turn your video on and state your name for the record, please, ma'am. Ma'am?
I'm trying to cut the camera off, but it's on.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am? Have you made application for rental assistance?
No.
The next thing you'll see is an invitation to go into a breakout room. You'll meet with a member of the Palace Law Firm. If you reach an agreement with them, you'll come out. We'll place it on the record. If you do not have an agreement, your case will be adjourned. That adjourned date will be December the 15th. The court will give you a time when you come out, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Morton, are you showing dismissals of any cases?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Any other cases?
Yes, I do. I can start to read them off to you right now, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'm going to start off with 2302368 LT, which is Elisa Anderson.
Yes, sir.
Next one is 23-02369 LT, which is Deidre Armstead.
Thank you.
The next one is 2302372 LT, which is Elizabeth Brown.
Thank you.
The next one is 23-02373 LT, which is Andrew Cox.
Thank you.
The next one, Your Honor, is 2302377 LT, Martez Freeman.
Yes, sir.
The next one after that, Your Honor, is 23-02379 LT, Jasmine Harris.
Thank you.
2302384, which is Justin Hopkins.
Thank you.
2302385 LT, Stephen Hosking Jr.
Thank you.
2302386 LT, Andrew Jacobson.
Thank you.
2302388 LT, Cheyenne Kleinow.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, after that, I might be going into the 11s, but we can just roll through those right
Let's
now.
not go into the 11s. Mr. Morton, the other 10 o'clock cases that did not appear this morning that you've not indicated are dismissed will be adjourned to December the 15th at 10 a.m.
December 15th at 10 a.m. Okay, I will, I have
Thank
another
you.
attorney here, but I will go jump into the breakout rooms and talk to some people, Your Honor. Actually, I see
Thank
that
you.
Daryl Phillips. I'm not sure if that's mine or not.
Yeah, I am.
That was going to call Mr. Phillips,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I'm supposed to be with Aurelia, but I don't know what's going on. That's why.
Are you, sir, Aurelia P., are you in with that case?
Yes.
You're a tenant in that unit.
Yes.
We'll get you moved into the breakout room, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Morton. Mary Ann, I'm
Absolutely.
stepping off to sign a search warrant. I'll be right back.
Okay. Carly, if you can hear me, I try to send you a chat. There's somebody in your breakout room.
Okay, I'll go right in.
Thank you.
I have to go back over here. Where'd the court?
Ms. Caudell,
Yes, ma'am.
everything okay?
Yeah, so I went to the clerk and then I was supposed to go to the attorney,
but he like pulled me over too fast, and then the clerk put me back with you. So I think I need to go back to the attorney.
We'll get you back in with Mr. Lamb and give us just a moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Mr. Morton.
I was gonna pull in Ms. P and Mr. Phillips because we are gonna dismiss their case, Your Honor.
This is a recall of 2302409 LT Holiday West versus P.
Yes.
Your Honor, for the record, Attorney Ian Morton of Pallets Law, want to advise the court, we have spoken to them and confirmed the payment receipt, which brought them, current through the month of November. So we will be submitting a dismissal on their matter, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any objection to that dismissal, Ms. P?
No.
As soon as we receive it from Mr. Morton's office, it will be signed. Anything else this morning, Ms. P or Mr. Phillips?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. You're free to go. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is a recall of 2302228 LT Belleville Manor versus Dufour.
Good morning
Parties
again,
have
Your
had the
Honor.
opportunities. I'm sorry, Mr. Lamb, and the parties have had an opportunity to speak. How are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, we are going to go ahead and go forward with that date of December 15th. to allow Mr.
Miss-
Ford some time to get some more money together.
Thank you. Ma'am, your case is being adjourned to December the 15th at 9 a.m. Court staff will mail notice to you of that new date and time at the address that's on record with the court, okay?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lamon. No, Ms. Dufour. No. Ignore me, Ms. Dufour. It is December 15th at 9 a.m.
Okay, and will I get anything in the mail or do I just come to the same Zoom number?
It will be the same Zoom ID number, ma'am, but court staff will mail notice to you at the address we have on record.
Okay, because I didn't get a notice for this one. I just happened to go into the office.
I understand, ma'am. What happened is the case was originally scheduled for a different date. The court changed the date and there was some miscommunication about the notice. So my apologies if you didn't get notice for today, but you will get notice for that December 15th date at 9 a.m., okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Lamon, before you go, were any of your other matters dismissed?
Yes, Your Honor, the following cases were dismissed. Belleville Manor versus Gurley and Custer.
That would
Belleville-
be, give me 1 second, 2302230 LT. I'll show that as dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Belleville Manor versus Benrowski.
That was 2302226 LT.
Yes. Belleville Manor versus Dove and Turquist.
2302232 LT. Yes, sir.
Belleville Manor versus Gardner and Santos.
That's 2302229 LT. Yes, sir.
And Belleville Manor versus Trackwell.
2302231 LT. Thank you, sir.
And then, Your Honor, the case is scheduled for 11 o'clock. I'll log back on.
Thank you. I'll see you then, Mr. Lemon.
Thank you.
This is a recall of the Lydale matter, 2302392 LT. You've had
Yes,
the
Your Honor.
opportunity to speak, Ms. Fontanella.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sydney Fontanella, P86316 for the plaintiff. Mr. Lydell and I did have a chance to speak, and we have come to terms for a consent judgment. If I may go ahead and put the terms on the record.
Absolutely.
There is current rent to retain of $2,746.72, court costs of $174.31 for a total of $2,921.03. Writ to issue after December 19th. I did explain to Mr. Lydell his rights under MCR 4.201I, and he did give me permission to sign the agreement on his behalf as well.
Sir, were you able to hear Ms. Fontanella just now?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, after having the opportunity to view the video that lists your rights, you wish to waive the rights to have the hearing in this matter and enter a consent judgment that shows a total due of $2,921.03.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've authorized the attorney's office to sign your name to that consent judgment.
Yes, Your Honor.
Their office will prepare, file it with the court electronically. The court will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Do you have any questions at all, sir?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Well, thank you for your patience this morning, Mr. Lydell. You have a wonderful day. You're free to go.
Thank you, you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am.
When you're ready, Your Honor, we have one to put on the record.
Thank you. Just trying to update on base. Oh. This is a recall of 2302378 LT Holiday West versus Jalen Griffin.
Here.
You have the opportunity to speak to Mr. Morton. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor, the parties did have a chance to be able to speak. We've agreed to enter into a proposed consent judgment. Mr. Griffin has agreed that there will be a consent judgment for possession be entered. Was it rents retained are $1,017.47, court costs of $174.31, for a total of $1,191.78. The parties have agreed, was it to enter into this agreement? I'm a little tired. I apologize, Your Honor. My child was not sleeping very well. I did advise Mr. Griffin of his rights under the court rules, including the fact that this will not be final for 3 business days. Second, I did advise him the fact that he does have the right to appeal this decision as well. And further, Mr. Griffin gave me permission to put his name on the proposed agreement as well.
Thank you. Mr. Griffin, you had a chance to view the video this morning regarding your rights in this matter.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you wish to waive your right to have a hearing in this matter, enter the consent judgment that Mr. Morton just placed on the record.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're agreeing that there's a total of $1,191.78 due and owing?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've authorized Mr. Morton's office to sign your name to a consent judgment with those terms?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Morton's office will prepare that judgment, submit it to the court electronically. The court will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Do you have any questions, Mr. Griffin?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. That concludes this matter, Mr. Griffin. You're free to go. You'll get a copy of that consent judgment in a few days.
All right. Thank you, Judge. I have a great day.
You too. Thank you, sir. Give me just one moment, Ms. Fontanella.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Two, 3, 7, 5. This is a recall of 2302374 LT Holiday West versus Patrice Cox Healy.
Sydney Fontanella for the plaintiff, Your Honor.
Ms. Cox Healy, you've had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Fontanella.
Yes, yes, I did.
How are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, Ms. Cox Healy and I did have a chance to speak. We came to terms for a consent judgment. There is current rent to retain of $5,151.44, court costs of $174.31, for a total of $5,325.75. She is going to get this paid by December 29th, 2023, otherwise a writ can issue. I did explain to her her rights under MCR 4.201I, and she did also give me permission to sign this agreement on her behalf.
Ms. Cox Healy, you were able to view the court's video this morning regarding your rights in this matter?
Yes,
And ma'am, you wish to waive your right to have a hearing in this matter and enter a consent judgment with a total due and owing of $5,325.75?
yes,
And ma'am, it's your agreement that you'll pay this amount or vacate the property owner before December 29, 2023?
yes,
And you've authorized the attorney's office to sign your name to the consent judgment because the parties appear on Zoom and not in person?
yes,
Ms. Fontanella's office will prepare that consent judgment, file it with the court electronically, and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on the record. Do you have any questions before you go this morning, ma'am?
no.
That concludes this hearing, Ms. Cox Healy. You're free to go. You have a wonderful day and good luck to you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Fontanella, if there's other people that you need to speak to, we'll be calling our next block of cases here shortly. So if you have a resolution, it might have to wait to either the end of the 11 o'clock block or we'll take it up on December 15th, okay?
Okay, Your Honor, I thought maybe we had some cases for 11 o'clock too, so we're gonna be here anyways, so that works out great.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you.
This is a recall of 2302393 LT Holiday West versus Lorenzi.
Yes.
You've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Morton this morning.
Yes.
How are we proceeding, Mr. Morton?
Your Honor, the parties have spoken. We've agreed to enter into a proposed consent judgment agreement. The terms are as follows. Rents retained are $4,897.15, court costs of $174.31 for a total of $5,071.46. They've agreed that they will have the opportunity to be able to pay that balance on or before December 28th, 2023, or they will turn over possession. The likelihood is the parties will turn over possession, but they still do retain the right to be able to stay if they wish to pay that amount. Second, I did advise them of their rights under the court rules, specifically the fact that this will not be final for 3 business days. Second, the fact that they have the right to appeal this any decision by the court for 10 days. And finally, and Mr. Lorenzi did give me permission to put his name on the proposed consent judgment agreement, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, you had the opportunity to view the court's video this morning regarding your rights in this matter.
Yes.
And sir, you wish to waive your right to have a hearing in this matter or enter a consent judgment that has a total due and owing of $5,071.46.
Yes.
And further, that you'll pay this amount or vacate the property on or before December 28, 2023.
Yes.
And because you appear on Zoom, there's not a signed consent judgment. You've authorized Mr. Morton's office to sign your name to that consent judgment.
Yes.
Mr. Morton's office will prepare such a judgment with the terms just placed on the record, submitted to the court electronically. It will be signed and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
Thank you for your patience this morning, Mr. Lorenzi. That concludes this matter. You're free to go. You have a great weekend, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, would the court like to go through the dismissals for the 11 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. When you're ready, Your Honor, I can start to advise you.
Would you please start?
Absolutely. First one is 23-02-411 LT Jennifer Roy.
Thank you.
The next one, Your Honor, is 23-02-413 LT Marcus Smith.
Thank you.
Next one, Your Honor, is 23-02-416 LT Christopher Thomason.
Thank you.
Next one, Your Honor, is 23-02-420 LT Kaylee Wilson.
Thank you.
And then the final one is 23-02-421 LT Nicole Young.
Thank you. And Mr. Morton, it appears that you and Ms. Fontanella finished the 10 o'clock cases. So Marianne is going to open this meeting and start checking in the 11 o'clock block. I'll be back at about 11:15 to lock the meeting again and run the advice of rights for the last time.
Absolutely, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that we said that all of the other pallets cases would be adjourned to December the 15th at 10 a.m. for failures to appear, but we did not place on the record that those are 2302370 LT Holiday West versus Deandra Baker, 2302371 LT Holiday West versus Anaya Brown, 2302376 LT Holiday West versus Stephen DeSille, 2302375 LT Holiday West versus Landon Davis, and 2302387 LT Holiday West versus DeSylvia Johnson. 2302389 LT Holiday West versus Timothy Known, KOUGHN. 2302404 LT Holiday West versus Natasha Martin. 2302405 LT Holiday West versus Scintilla McGee. 2302407 Holiday West versus Brandy Miller.
Actually, Your Honor,
2302408 LT.
I apologize, Your Honor. Those two matters, was it Natasha Martin and Caitlin McGee? Will be submitting dismissals on those matters.
Thank you, Mr. Morton.
Thank you.
2302407 LT Holiday West versus Brandy Miller, 2302408 LT Holiday West versus Nina Nicolaides, 2302410 LT Holiday West versus Ronald Rasper. Good morning, Mr. McCausland.
Good morning.
Man, I was finna say, I know they ain't on this weird shit.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Ms. Shepherd?
Yes,
in about
ma'am.
15 In about 15 minutes, the court will run a video that discusses your rights this morning. So
Okay.
sit tight, take your hood off. We'll be ready again in about 15 minutes, okay?
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries, thank you. After the video, if you like the opportunity to speak to Mr. McCausland, we will do it at that time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Katz.
Your Honor, did you call my name?
I did call your name, sir.
Oh.
Any of your 11 o'clock cases being dismissed?
I think we sent possibly a couple dismissals. They are. Oh, why don't they have? I don't have case numbers on them. Oh wait, wrong ones. No, hold on. What about 380 and 382?
380 Taza Smith.
Yep. And 382 DeBose.
382. No, I don't show them as being dismissed. Thank you for the update. And for those who did not hear, there is a video that explains the rights this morning that will be played at approximately 11:15. So sit tight, get pencil and paper. There might be notes you need to take from that video. You also might see invitations from court staff to go into breakout rooms. Please follow those directions. Have your chat box open. That's a feature that allows people to receive and send text messages in this application. The court staff might need to be in contact or communication with you. I will be back momentarily for that video to be viewed. Thank you. Good morning. Today is Friday, December 1st, 2023. I am Judge Martin. Today's docket is exclusively landlord-tenant cases. If you do not have a landlord-tenant case, you are in the wrong place, and you may send a chat or message to court staff. They will help you get where you are supposed to be. In just a moment or two, court staff will lock this Zoom hearing and start to play a video that explains your rights in this landlord-tenant matter and resources that may be available to you. Please have pen and paper handy to take notes of these resources and these rights. At the conclusion of the video, your case will be called. You will have the opportunity to go into a breakout room and meet with your landlord's attorney to discuss this case. At the conclusion of that conversation with the attorney, the cases will either be settled with a conditional dismissal, consent judgment, or adjourned over to a new date. Marianne, if you're ready, please lock the room and start the video.
Welcome to the 34th District Court. Please listen carefully for information about your rights and resources that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you may qualify for legal aid assistance. There may be a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid available today to speak with you, or you can contact them at 888-783-8190. You have the right to have your case heard in the proper venue. If the property is not located in the 34th District, you can ask the court to transfer your case to the district where the property, or any part of it, is located. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court today or make the demand in writing within 5 days of today's hearing. You can use Form MC-22 Jury Demand and file it with the court. You must pay $50 when you make your demand, or within 5 days of the court advising you of this right. You do not have to pay the jury fee if you have asked the court to waive fees and the court has approved your request under MCR 2.002. If your landlord has asked for you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or a federal Help for Homeless Veterans program. You should have received information on local rental and housing assistance with the summons. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are enough. If your case is for non-payment and you have already applied for assistance from one of these agencies, be sure to let the court clerk or the judge know when your case is called. You will be required to submit written proof to the court within 5 days of today's hearing. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a Michigan or local community dispute resolution program. You can find a program at courts.my.gov/CDRP. You may also reach an agreement with the landlord that will mean the case gets dismissed. A conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. You can use Form DC-508, Consent Order for Conditional Dismissal, Landlord-Tenant, and file it with the court. Information about your other rights and the legal process is available through Michigan Legal Help at www.michiganlegalhelp.org. Additional information on legal resources, housing assistance programs, and court forms are available on our website at www.mi34thdistrictcourt.com/department/civil. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly.
Mr. Landman, for this 11 o'clock docket, sir, I do not see that any of your tenants have appeared.
It does not appear that way, Your Honor.
That being the case, the court did receive a dismissal of 2302324 Park Estates versus Galloway. Did you have dismissals of any other matter, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. Park Estates versus Volk, VOLK, is also a dismissal.
Anything else, Mr. Lamon?
No, Your Honor.
Then, Mr. Lamon, the following will be deemed as having failed to appear and set on the court's December 15th docket at 10 a.m. That will be 230211 LT Park Estates versus Michael Karkatch. 23022326 LT Maple Leaf Gardens versus Michael Chiverell.
I believe that may be it, Your Honor.
That is it for you this morning, Mr. Lamon. Thank you for your patience. Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. This is 2302285 LT, the Maxwell versus Eric Wrench.
Yes, hello.
Turn your video on. State your name for me, sir.
Let me see. Eric Wrench.
Mr. Wrench, have you made an application for rental assistance?
No.
Then, Mr. Wrench, the next thing you'll see is an invitation to go into a breakout room to meet with Mr. Katz, the representative for your landlord. After you've had the opportunity to speak to him, you will come back out in this main session. If you reach an agreement with him, the court will place it on the record. If there is no agreement, your case will be adjourned to December the 15th. I will give you a new time when you come out, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Mr. Katz, I don't see any of your other tenants, I don't believe. So, Mr. Katz, we will show the following as having failed to appear this morning, and they will be adjourned over again to that December 15th docket at 10 a.m. Those being 2302327 LT Maxwell versus Clarence Stewart, 2302328 LT Maxwell versus Tyler Lewis, 2302362 LT Maxwell versus Sean Tarleton, 2302363 LT Maxwell versus Tamara Shepard, 2302364 LT Maxwell versus Thomasina Wilson, 2302365 LT Maxwell versus Pamela Reed, 2302366 LT Maxwell versus Poole, 2302381 LT Maxwell versus Edward Lewis.
I think that's it, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please go
Your
in and
Honor,
speak.
are any of those personal service?
I show posting, Mr. Katz.
For every single one? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Two 23023 LT Willow Glen versus Shepherd. Ms. Shepherd, unmute yourself, turn your video on, state your name for the record, please.
Ajane Shepherd.
Ms. Shepherd, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, I was in the process of trying to get that done.
If it's not yet done, then you don't need to complete the form. If you make an application for rental assistance, there is a form that you need to complete and file with the court. Ma'am, we'll send you an invitation to go into a breakout room with Mr. McCausland to discuss this matter. If you reach an agreement with him, you'll come out, you'll place it on the record. If there is no agreement reached, we'll adjourn this matter over. Your next appearance date will be December the 15th. We'll give you a time when you come out of that breakout room, okay?
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. And then Mr. McCausland, 2302422 LT Willow Glen versus Monica Jackson.
Good morning, Your Honor. I
Good
don't see
morning.
her
Were you
present
expecting?
today.
I'm sorry.
I do not see her present today.
I don't see her. My question to you was going to be, do you intend to go forward in this matter? Is it dismissed? I guess is a clear way to ask the question. Okay. This case will be adjourned over to that failure to appear docket on December the 15th
No, we'll
at 10 a.m.
continue with the case.
I'm sorry, Mr. McCausland, you're going in and out.
At 10 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize.
No worries.
I just said thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Morton.
Yes, Your Honor.
2302414 LT Holiday West versus Nasha Smith. Ms. Smith, turn your video on, unmute yourself, state your name for the record.
Nasha Smith.
Ms. Smith, have you made application for rental assistance?
Yes, I have.
Okay, ma'am, what'll happen next is your case will be adjourned. That next hearing date will be December the 15th at 9 a.m. You will go into a breakout room. You meet with the member of the court staff that will help you get connected to the form that you need to complete and submit to the court. After you're done with that member of the staff, Carly, you'll go into a breakout room to meet with Mr. Morton, but I will see you back here on December 15th at 9 a.m., okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. 2302417 LT Holiday West versus Monica Washington. Ms. Washington, turn your video on, unmute yourself, state your name for the record, please.
Monica Washington.
Ms. Washington, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, I actually paid it.
Mr. Morton, are you showing this as paid, or do you need a moment to speak to Ms. Washington or your client?
Was it for mine? It looks like there was a significant payment made, but there was still a balance, but I'll more would like to speak with Ms. Washington.
Ms.
Okay.
Washington, you'll see an invitation to go into that breakout room. I'll see you when you're done with Mr. Morton.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. 2302419 LT Holiday West versus Williams. Ms. Williams, unmute yourself, turn your video.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. State your name for the record.
Sherry Williams.
Have you made application for rental assistance, ma'am?
Yes, I have.
Then, ma'am, what will happen is your case is going to be adjourned to December the 15th at 9 a.m. Please take a moment, go on with the court staff. There is a form that you need to complete and submit to the court. After you've had a chance to speak to that member of the court staff, you will go in and speak momentarily with Mr. Morton or Ms. Fontanella. After that, you're free to go. I'll see you on December the 15th, okay?
All right, would I use this same Zoom meeting ID for the 15th?
It'll be the same meeting ID. It'll be back here with me. Court staff will mail notice to you at the address we have on record.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. And then, Mr. Morton, before you go, the court is showing 2302415 LT Holiday West versus Bella Tackett as a failure to appear. 2302418 LT Holiday West versus Antoine Westry. It's a failure to appear. I think that concludes that docket. Those cases will be put over to that December 15th at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
You're very welcome. This is 2302609 LT, Tommy Schramm versus Rob Mills. Your appearance, please, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tom DiPietro appearing on behalf of Mr. Day, on behalf of the plaintiff, Ms. Schramm.
Thank you, Mr. DiPietro. The court does not see that Mr. Mills checked in. Mr. DiPietro, I'm just checking to see if service was made by personal service. By
Judge,
posting.
I can tell you it was by mail. On Monday, the post office receipts were filed with the proof of service on Monday electronically.
I see that now. Thank you, Mr. DiPietro.
Welcome, Your Honor.
This case will be adjourned over to December the 15th at 9:15 a.m. back here on Zoom, back here in courtroom number 1. Court staff will mail notice of that new date and time to the parties.
Your Honor, may I ask a question?
Sir,
This is not a residential non-payment case. Rather, it's a termination of lease based on trespass, not lease, possession, based on a continuing trespass. Would it be possible to ask the court for a judgment today in light of those facts?
Mr. DePietro, I'm just taking a moment to look at the complaint.
I understand, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. DePietro, my concern would be that there appears to have been at least 2 prior cases in this matter, and there's quite a lengthy attachment to the complaint. I just want to be sure that we are.
May I offer some context, Your Honor? Or
Absolutely, sir.
we'd be better off without it. I don't know.
I'm listening, Mr. DePietro.
Judge, this came before you several months ago on a seeking eviction for destruction of property, code violations, and things of that nature. And I believe it was a rental case at that time too, Judge. And you ruled that this was a commercial lease, and therefore the notice to quit had to be for 1 year, because that was apparently the rental period under that lease.
Oh, no, Mr. DePietro, no, the finding wasn't that it was commercial property. It was the, there was some other quirk to it. It wasn't a ruling that it was commercial property. It was that the term of the lease was 1 year at a time versus the standard 30-day notice on a 30-day.
You're correct, Judge. You didn't make a finding as to the commercial nature of the property. I'm telling
Absolutely not.
It's not a residence. So anyway,
So Mr.
Go ahead.
Mr. DePietro, I'm gonna stop you at that point, and we'll put this matter over. I understand the context the record that you're making right now. But if you have to go beyond what's Mr. DePietro, let's just put this over to December 15th at 9:15 a.m. If Mr. Mills does not present himself to the court, I will be happy to enter your default at that time and return possession of the premises, the property, the vacant land, however it's now deemed, to Ms. Schramm.
Very well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good weekend.
You too, Judge. Thanks.
Vacant land. Mr. McCausland and Ms. Shepherd back on the record in 2302423, Willow Glen versus Shepherd.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Your Honor. We would ask that the court go ahead and adjourn the matter to December 15th, and hopefully between now and then, this case will resolve itself. If not, we'll be before you on that date.
Thank you. Is that your understanding as well, Ms. Shepherd?
Yes, ma'am.
December 15th at 9:15 a.m. Anything else, Mr. McCausland?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Shepherd?
No, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Have a good weekend, ma'am. Thank you. by Mr. McCausland.
Goodbye.
This is a recall of 2302-285 LT Maxwell versus Wrench. What happened to Mr. Wrench? Uh-oh.
Your Honor, good morning.
Mr. Katz?
Yes, I just wanted to make sure you had sent me into a breakout room with Mr. Wrench, and we're just gonna schedule that for the 15th. So I didn't know if you needed me to come back and tell you.
Did you, well, I just wanted to give you a time. Did you talk to Mr. Wrench?
I did. I offered him a consent, but he said he'd just come back on the 15th.
That's okay. I thought I saw him back out because I wanted to be sure he had a time. We will mail the notice to him, but that time will be the 15th at 9:30.
Okay, so this one's 9:30, the others were 10, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought I told him to come back in here. I don't know what happened to him.
I like people to have the time in case the notice is late. They don't
Yep.
miss it, but it's 9:15. Court staff will mail notice out to Mr. French and we'll take it up on that day at that time.
Okay, you said 9:15 or 9:30? The first time I thought it said 9:30.
I wrote down 9:30, Mr. Katz. Stop
Okay.
listening to me. If I say anything different the second time, that was an error.
Friday,
9:30
it's
with
okay.
Mr. Wrench on the 15th.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too. Ms. Washington, this is a recall of 2302417 LT Holiday West versus Washington.
Good morning again, Your Honor. Sydney Fontanella, P86316 for the plaintiff. If I may, Your Honor, Ms. Washington has paid in full through November, and so at this time we're requesting that the case be dismissed, and we'll be submitting a dismissal on it.
Any objection to that dismissal, Ms. Washington?
No, ma'am.
The case is hereby dismissed. You're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you. You too, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then I believe Mr. Morton's handling the other cases, so I hope you have a good weekend, Judge.
You too, Ms. Fontanella. Good to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
Mary Ann?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking. I don't see anyone still here.
I'm with you on that.
That concludes this court's docket. It's now 11:36 by this court's clock. There are no, is the meeting room unlocked? Or do you see anybody holding in the waiting room?
I just unlocked it.
If you don't see anyone in the waiting room, there are no persons in the breakout rooms. That concludes this court's docket for the day. It's 11:37 now by this court's clock. Unless we've received notice that there's another arraignment coming, which would be late, but we would take it. That concludes this court's business for the day. We stand adjourned.